For years, I've sat here, right in this chair, breaking down fights. I've analyzed technique, strategy, the cold, hard calculus of mixed martial arts. I've talked about game plans, about footwork, about the science of it all. But this fight, this one is different. This isn't a fight that will be won by science. This is a title fight that will be won by pure, unadulterated chaos. And we're about to witness which brand of madness reigns supreme. Let's talk about Khamzat Chimaev. For the longest time, he wasn't just a fighter, he was a myth, a boogeyman, the Borz, a predator dropped into an ecosystem that had no idea how to handle him. We all remember it, don't we? The 2 fights in 10 days, the way he didn't just win, he erased his opponents. It felt like watching a glitch in the Matrix, a force of nature that didn't play by the same rules of fatigue or damage that govern mortal men. His chaos was a blitzkrieg, a sudden, overwhelming storm of violence. He smashes, he suffocates, and before you even realize you're in a fight, you're waking up staring at the arena lights, wondering what just happened. That was the promise of Khamzat, inevitability. But then, the myth met reality. The first crack appeared against Gilbert Burns. For the first time, we saw the wolf bleed. We saw him gasp for air. We saw him get rocked and have to dig deep into a place beyond raw talent. He still won, but that cloak of invincibility had slipped. We saw a man, not a monster. Then came the fight with Kamaru Usman. A legend, yes, but a welterweight moving up on short notice. And again, Khamzat got the win, but it was a grueling, hard-fought battle. The storm was still there, but it wasn't a Category 5 hurricane anymore. His chaos, once a tidal wave, now had a shoreline. It had a limit. And that's the question that has been hanging over his head ever since. What happens when someone can survive the initial storm? And that right there is where Dricus Du Plessis comes in. If Khamzat's chaos is a violent explosion, Dricus's chaos is a slow, creeping flood. It's ugly, it's awkward, it makes no sense on paper. You watch him fight, and for the first round, you might think, this guy is gassing out. His technique is all over the place. He's about to get picked apart. Pundits, fans, even other fighters have all made the same mistake. They see the surface, but they don't see the treacherous undercurrent. Dricus doesn't want to fight a clean, technical battle. He wants to drag you into a swamp. He wants to pull you into the deep water, where your polished striking and your perfect wrestling defense mean nothing. He forces a pace that is so relentless, so physically demanding that it breaks your will before it breaks your body. He makes you fight his ugly fight. Ask Robert Whittaker, one of the most technically sound strikers the division has ever seen. Dricus walked through his fire, made it a dogfight, and broke him. Ask Sean Strickland, the man who supposedly had an unbreakable chin and a gas tank for days. Dricus matched his pressure, bled with him, and simply refused to lose. His style is a weaponized form of exhaustion. He looks tired, so you think you have him, but in reality, he's just pulling you down to his level of suffering, knowing you'll drown there before he does. He is the ultimate test of endurance, not just of the body, but of the mind. He is the champion nobody saw coming, built on a foundation of grit and a fighting style that defies all logic. He is the living embodiment of the idea that sometimes sheer, stubborn will is the most dangerous weapon of all. So here we are. The unstoppable force meets the immovable object is a cliché we hear all the time. This is not that. This is something far more interesting. This is the blitzkrieg versus the war of attrition, the sprinter versus the marathon runner from hell, the predator who relies on a swift, brutal kill against the scavenger who can survive anything and will simply outlast you. The entire fight hinges on one single question. Can Dricus Du Plessis survive the first 7 minutes? That's it. That's the whole ballgame. Because if Khamzat comes out with that same explosive, suffocating pressure we know he has, and he gets Dricus down in the first round, it could be over before it even begins. Khamzat on top of you in the first round is a death sentence. We've seen it time and time again. He will maul you, he will break your posture, and he will find a submission or a TKO. But what if he doesn't? What if Dricus, with his immense physical strength and his awkward resilience, manages to survive? What if he forces the scrambles, gets back to his feet, and makes Khamzat work for every single inch. What happens when we enter the third round, and Khamzat feels that familiar burn in his lungs, but this time the man across from him isn't getting weaker, he's getting stronger. He's smiling through the blood, he's walking forward, still throwing those looping, powerful shots. That is the nightmare scenario for Chimaev, and the exact world where Dricus thrives. This is a 5-round championship fight, and we've seen Khamzat struggle with his cardio in a 3-round war. Dricus, on the other hand, just went 5 hard rounds with Strickland and looked like he could go another 5. The longer this fight goes on, the more the momentum swings away from the wolf and towards the man who calls the swamp his home. This isn't just about a belt. This is a clash of identities, a battle for the soul of the middleweight division. Is greatness defined by the perfect, flawless finish? Or is it defined by the ability to endure hell and walk out the other side? We're about to see a myth put to the ultimate test against a champion who has built his entire career on breaking them. Forget what you think you know. Forget the betting odds. Forget the highlight reels. When that cage door locks, skill and strategy will take a backseat to something far more primal. This isn't about who is the better fighter. It's about whose madness is stronger.